What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back for a too early (2021) mock draft. But I see everyone giving their one round mocks. I'm gonna give you a 2-round mock. That's right. More players for your buck. Not that you're paying. But go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. That's always much appreciated, much obliged. Future plans for the channel, we're gonna have rankings for the 2021 NFL draft class coming out. So just some maybe a top 10s to give you some names to look out for this college football season. And we're gonna do team previews after May 9th. That's when the NFL schedule comes out, and we can do a full team preview and maybe kind of project how they will do next season. Fantasy football content will be out eventually, maybe in the next month or so. And yeah, maybe some Madden content. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to pick up and play Madden nowadays, man. Just don't dig me, Madden. Don't dig me, Madden. But let's pump this out, because 2 rounds, I'm going to just kind of rattle off these names as we go, give you a little bit of description on them, and we can talk about them in the comment section below. Give me names you think maybe should have been on the list. Remember, keep in mind, it's not really predictive. It's more to highlight some of these prospects that you may or may not have heard of. So don't focus so much on who your team picks. But without further ado, let's get in. By the way, again, before we get in, this is based on Vegas betting odds, so don't take where your team is picking to heart. Just saying. Jacksonville Jaguars, I got them getting Justin Fields. I'm assuming if they're picking first, the Gardner Minshew thing didn't go well. And I think there is a reasonable debate to be had about Fields versus Lawrence for basically the top overall pick or the top quarterback in this class. I currently have Fields over Lawrence. Fields, he worked with worse weapons compared to Lawrence, and I think he was better. To me, he looked better at making NFL throws than Lawrence. Granted, Fields was kind of in a very screen. There we go. Heavy scheme there at Ohio State. But I like his accuracy. I like his ball placement on 10 yards or longer, basically downfield, which is very good. That translates to the NFL. He's got better mobility. He was the better quarterback under pressure last season. And I'm not saying Lawrence is a bad prospect, but I think there should be a debate about this. I don't think it's just I don't think Lawrence is running away with best quarterback in this draft. Washington Redskins, they're going Trevor Lawrence. I assume Dwayne Haskins had a pretty abysmal year if they're picking this high, so that's why they get Lawrence. Lawrence, he has the arm, he has the look, he has the leadership you want from a franchise quarterback. He graded highly in his own right for PFF. Yes, he started the season pretty rocky. The first 3 games didn't go that well, but he was probably the best quarterback from that 3-game period in the country that wasn't named Joe Burrow. Cincinnati Bengals, they go Penei Sewell. The guy's just a generational tackle talent. I know that word generational gets thrown around a ton, but he is really, really good. He would have been the top tackle prospect by a mile if he was eligible to come out in the 2020 class. So just putting that out there. Jamar Chase coming in here with the Carolina Panthers. There's not a quarterback I want to pick up here, so why not get Joe Brady's old receiver, man? Reunited, and it feels so good. I don't think we really need to talk about Chase. We know how good Chase is. Detroit Lions go Micah Parsons out of Penn State. He finished as PFF's top linebacker this past season. His athleticism is comparable to Isaiah Simmons to a degree. Isaiah Simmons was kind of he was a bit of a freak athlete, but the guy, he was a stout run defender, phenomenal pass rusher. He could clean him in coverage a bit, but he didn't allow a touchdown all year in coverage. But this guy, we could be talking about him next year like he was Isaiah Simmons. Rashad Bateman coming in here for the Dolphins. He outshined Tyler Johnson last season. Bateman, he's really, really good. He was in the top 20 for contested catches and for broken tackles. He's probably the best pure route runner, and no other receiver really came close to his rate of 15 plus yard receptions. Got good size, 6'2", 210. And honestly, there might be a case for him to be up there, right up there with Jamar Chase. And then the New York Jets, they get Gregory Rousseau out of Miami. Now, this edge class right now, at face value, is kind of weak. Now, Rousseau, he has a ton of upside. But still, he is very much so a raw prospect at this point. He's 6'6", 260, possesses scary strength and very good quickness. He won with his physical upside more times than not last season, but he's still learning the nuances of being a pass rusher. He was a former wide receiver in high school. And I mean, again, by this guy's own admission, yeah, I still got a long way to go. Now, this year's going to be a good measuring stick to how far his development has come. But this guy could be in the top 5 discussion if he displays really any improvement whatsoever in his hand technique, hand placement. I'm just saying the guy I want to see a little more variety also in his arsenal. The guy, he's got the physical upside to do so, though. And at 8, we got, Patrick Surtain II going here to Atlanta. They just add more, I guess, more shutdown corners. Like AJ Terrell's nice, but they probably should add more. This guy, Surtain, he's been heavily used on the field since his freshman season. He has a large sample size of elite play. This guy is really good. He's one of the best deep ball defenders. He has all the elite corner traits you want to see. Long arms, 6'2", 203, potentially 4.4 speed. You just got to like that. On to 9, Marvin Wilson going to the Dolphins. I once considered Wilson on par with Derrick Brown, with Javon Kinlaw, but he kind of petered out down the stretch, and then he got hurt. So it kind of ended his season. It was an ankle injury, and I like his ability to play really anywhere from the 0 to the 5 tech, despite his size. He's pretty good. He's a stout run defender, and he proved to be a very good pass rusher this past season. But like I said, my biggest worry, he petered down the stretch. My biggest worry is he might not be a 3-down player. New York Giants, they go Justin Ross out of Clemson, 6'4", 200 pounds. The guy is very physical. He's one of the best deep ball receivers in this draft. He has great hands as well, and I think he just kind of falls short of Chase and Bateman. I think those guys are kind of in a league of their own right now. Arizona Cardinals go Isaac Taylor Stewart out of USC. Taylor, he has all the elite traits you want to see from a corner, 6'2", 205, elite short area quickness, long arms. Just needs to really be a smarter defender, and he probably could be. He's already been talked about as maybe a top 10, top 15 pick. Honestly, that USC defense looks pretty scary this year. Denver Broncos go Shaun Wade out of Ohio State. Now, this year, Wade, he gets a chance to kick that pesky title of being a slot-only type of corner now with Okuda and Arnett gone. Wade, athletically, I mean, his athletic ability is just so enticing, and it really forced him onto the field for Ohio State. They opted for more nickel packages just to get him on the field, and now he has a chance to play on the outside and prove that he can be more than a slot corner. I like that. Worst case scenario, Denver gets a slot corner to replace Chris Harris. I know they got Calhoun there, but I mean, again, this is not predictive. We got the Chicago Bears going with Jamie Newman out of Georgia. I love Newman. I had a 3rd round grade on him before he decided to return and then transfer. The move to Georgia, it might benefit him. I'm not too sure. I mean, the offense, it's pro style offense, but it's not really designed to highlight some of his strengths, being his huge arm, his deep ball accuracy. But still, with those traits, I think he's among the few dark horse prospects that can really maybe contend with Fields and with Trevor Lawrence. And then we got the Cleveland Browns going with Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. Davis, this guy could be in the Quentin Nelson territory by the end of the year. Again, this was just 1 year of amazing play we're picking from him. I mean, essentially he's a 1 year wonder, but I think he could very much so repeat that. He didn't allow a sack or a hit on the quarterback for 459 pass blocking snaps, and he was just utterly dominant as a run blocker. Tennessee Titans go Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. Guy may be undersized, but he's among the most explosive receivers over the last 2 seasons. Only CeeDee Lamb averaged more yards after the catch during that span. Size, again, may be a concern with him, but that type of playmaking ability and speed just doesn't come around too often. The Las Vegas Raiders go Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. Leatherwood, he was talked about as maybe a top 15, top 20 prospect before he decided to return. The guy, he may leave a little bit to be desired as a run blocker, but his pass protection is top notch. He allowed no sacks and only 1 hit on the quarterback last season, and it came against first rounder Clevon Chazon. So, I mean, you fault him for that? I don't know. If you can minimize his penalties, I think he was at 9. He should be back in the top 15 discussion. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars go with Paulson Adebo out of Stanford. His 2019 was kind of a down year for Adebo, but he allowed, by comparison, he allowed more yards per coverage snap and surrendered 3 more touchdowns than he did previous season. Really, I think the thing that sticks into everyone's mind is the game against Central Florida where he matched up against Gabriel Davis and just got owned, but still, he was still largely considered a first-round prospect by analysts. And honestly, if he could return to that 2018 form, then he should be in the first-round mix once again. And then the Minnesota Vikings go Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. Are they going to sign Anthony Harris long-term? Harrison Smith, he's getting older, so they go safety. The guy, he's a ball hawk. Picked off 4 passes last season. He allowed a completion percentage of only 32%. You can line up anywhere. He has for the Horned Frogs. He's among the best defensive backs in all of college football. And it's looking like we might have a very strong secondary class in general once again. Then the New England Patriots go Tanner Morgan out of Minnesota. Whether this guy was under pressure or from a clean pocket, the dude was making throws. He was among the best in college football last season. He was masterful when coming up to the line, seeing and calling plays, and just the guy's got a very quick release. He's kind of, for me, this is a very, very early comp, but kind of reminiscent to me of Big Ben. Again, very early comp. Much more needs to be seen. Los Angeles Chargers go Jackson Carman out of Clemson. The guy, he has solidified the left side for Trevor Lawrence. He was only a sophomore last season, now coming into his junior year. He's one of the best run blockers. The guy didn't allow a sack all last year. He did a pretty decent job at containing Chase Young in the playoff game. Guy's a former 5-star recruit. Probably going to be in this tackle mix. It's a very good tackle class as well. So be on the look. Indianapolis Colts go Colby Arvell Peel out of Oklahoma State. The guy, he's just very, call him KHP. KHP? It's kind of catchy. Not really. He's a dynamic in coverage. The guy, also tackling machine, racked up 71 tackles last season. Also 5 interceptions, 13 pass breakups, 4 forced fumbles. The guy, he's just a beast. Green Bay Packers, they finally go receiver. Not throwing shade. Armon Ra St. Brown, one of the best names in this draft out of USC. The guy's 6'1", 195. He was primarily used as a short to intermediate threat there, but 5 of his 6 touchdowns came on passes of 20 plus yards or more, and he hauled in 5 of 6 contested catches on those type of passes, basically those 20 plus yards or more passes, suggesting he may be a more complete receiver than people may think. The Philadelphia Eagles, they select James Empey out of BYU, the center. Watch out for Empey. This dude is a masterful technician. Probably was the best center in all of college football last season. Just saying, the guy's a dark horse. Seattle Seahawks, they go Walker Little out of Stanford. His year was cut short because of injury in 2019. But he honestly did look a little, maybe not more athletic, but he looked quicker there before going down with the injury. If he displays that this year and has a full season, of play, then he could be back in that top 15 talk and maybe even a move to guard, which I suggested last season. Is what it is. Pittsburgh Steelers, they go Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. Throw for throw, Purdy was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He has one of the best ratings in a clean pocket. And in 2019, he was actually very good outside of structure. Now, there's a lot to like about Purdy, and he makes enough big time throws to be much more than a game manager, which is I'm kind of my worry here that he might fall into that game manager title like James Fromm did, which I think is far from the case. The guy makes enough big time throws and he has an adequate arm. Guy's a good player. Dallas Cowboys, they go his teammate Charlie Kolar out of Iowa State, currently my highest rated tight end. And I just really want to highlight, because this is a very good tight end class. Like, honestly, I could see maybe 3 or 4 of these tight ends sneaking somewhere in the first round or maybe early second. Like I said, really good, much better than this past class. Now, this guy definitely could be a first rounder. 6'6", 252. He's split time, inline, and at slot. The guy's a mismatch nightmare, which is actually kind of true for a lot of these, and we'll get to some of those guys later. But he's also deadly as a vertical threat. He's very good on crossers, sneak behind coverage. Again, with this guy's size, I assume he's going to be a very good red zone threat as well. San Francisco 49ers go Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. This guy has great size, 6'2", 207. He's one of the best zone corners in this class. He isn't a one-trick pony either. He could succeed as a man defender as well. But a guy allowed a passer rating of 29.2 while hauling in 4 interceptions, 9 pass breakups. Again, another dominant season from this dude, top 10 pick maybe. The Baltimore Ravens, they select Chris Rumpf II out of Duke, and I can see this guy maybe moving off-ball linebacker just because he's only 225, so he can make a similar move like Zach Bond and maybe Joshua Uche. So, but regardless, this guy's pass rush prowess is unbelievable. He was really just used as a rotation player there for Duke, only 409 snaps in 2019, but his pass rush win rate was 30.9. His pressure rate was 25.7, all ranking first above the likes of Chase Young. Ridiculous. Like I said, ridiculous. He's got speed, explosiveness. His first step is very scary, and he uses those long arms to really get leverage. He's got very good lateral movement. He's very good at timing the snap, just jumping gaps. Like I said, he's very good. He's got a highlight reel. Check those out. The dude's a very good player. Only redshirt sophomore, plenty of time for him to bulk up and maybe even stay in school. Buffalo Bills go Samuel Cosmi out of Texas. I love how athletic he is. He's very athletic. He even caught a touchdown last season. Like I said, the dude's very good. He kept Sam Ehlinger upright, only allowing 1 sack on almost 600 pass blocking snaps. That's elite. The guy's an elite pass protector, and like I said, athletic, so maybe ideal for a zone blocking scheme. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Travis Etienne out of Clemson. Yes, they got Keyshawn Vaughn, but they ain't Etienne. This guy is amazing. He would have been honestly first in this class if he did, or this past class if he decided to declare. He was much improved as a pass catcher. He had 37 receptions for 432 yards, 4 touchdowns, 90 broken tackles on 207 carries, and that's not taking into account his receptions. Guy's a home run threat anytime with the ball in his hands. Just check out the playoffs the guy put on a show. The New Orleans Saints go Rondale Moore out of Purdue. Again, this guy's kind of in the same boat as Jalen Waddle in terms of size, but he had 37 broken tackles over the last 2 seasons. With him being limited to only 4 games this past season, he's very scary on the screen, off the slant. Really could probably elevate his stock if he improves as a difference maker downfield, but that also asks the quarterback play to be much better there at Purdue. And then Kansas City, they go Devontae Smith out of Alabama. The guy is a ridiculous downfield threat. He's great after the catch. He forced 14 missed tackles last season. He's just really good. This is another really good receiving class. Second round, Jacksonville, they go Najee Harris out of Alabama. I don't know what the future holds for Fournette, so we're going running back. This guy tremendously improved in the pass game. I had no idea that he could be this good of a pass catcher. I thought he was a wrecking ball only type of running back. And honestly, if he decided to declare, I think he would have been first off my board as well. So him and Etienne, both really good running backs in this class. Washington Redskins go Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. I love the combination of size and speed. The dude's 6'2". He does need to pack on a little more weight, but Campbell, he can hang with any receiver. My only 2 concerns with him is that Georgia system that teaches corners to be overly physical, especially down the field. And if he could be a better playmaker, is yet to register an interception actually in his career. Then the Cincinnati Bengals, they go Xavier Thomas out of Clemson. This guy honestly could be a first-round pick. especially in a weak edge class. Like, the guy has elite tools. He just needs to show some consistency in his game. Sweeney, he believes this guy's going to have a big season, so let's wait and see. Carolina Panthers go Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, and I thought I was pretty high on Trey Lance. I went to go check out some other mock drafts, and they already got him in the first round. Well, crap. They're treating this guy like he's the second coming of Carson Wentz, which would be a mistake. They're not the same player. Lance, he is a little smaller, but I love his athleticism. The guy, he had no picks last season, and he might end up being a first round pick, maybe even a very high first round pick when it's all said and done. I'm just not willing to go there yet. No balls. Detroit Lions, they go Dylan Moses out of Alabama. Everyone was expecting a huge year for Moses and a more expanded role there at Alabama, but the ACL injury put him on the shelf for the season. If he could rebound from the injury and produce as well, then I think he might sneak into the first. Miami Dolphins go Andre Cisco out of Syracuse. This guy's a ball hawk, but sometimes he gets a little too aggressive. Still, 12 picks over the last 2 seasons. I mean, that kind of makes up for occasionally getting beat. The New York Jets, they go Tamarian Terry out of Florida State. This guy, he produced very well on a very, very, very bad team. Tamarian, this guy, 6'4", 203. He's got some wheels. He's discussing it after the catchability. In all honesty, could be in this top 15 mix when it's all said and done. He's really, really good, and honestly, I think after this I might put him a little further up my list. I think I'm sleeping on him. The Atlanta Falcons, they go Kyle Pitts out of Florida, the tight end. Again, this guy's got the largest sample size of any of the tight ends last season, being targeted 81 times. He came down with 14 contested catches. A lot of upside to this guy, and this tight end class honestly probably has 4 or 5 guys that are better than anyone in this past tight end class. It's a really good tight end class. The Miami Dolphins, they go edge Baron Browning out of Ohio State. Another guy that might make the move to off-ball linebacker. Not just considered his size, but now he's actually, I think he's gonna play more off the ball with Malik Harrison gone. The guy, he's been effective outside the tackle as a pass rusher. So again, if he produces well, it could be a high pick. The New York Giants go Jalen Twyman out of Pittsburgh. Dude racked up 10.5 sacks last season. He boasts some interesting athleticism at 291 for an interior player. And then Creed Humphrey coming in here for the Arizona Cardinals to replace Mason Cole, perhaps. Guy's a former wrestler. You can really see in how he plays. Got very strong hands. It's really hard to win at the point of attack against Humphrey. And then Denver Broncos go Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. This guy I'm very, very high on. NFL is probably not, at least not yet. But he's going to be one of my under the radar picks in this draft class. He played on the right for his first 2 seasons, moved on the left last season, and his game just went to another level. Really only Sewell was better than him in my opinion last season. And the guy, he put up a very good effort against Chase Young, and it was probably Chase Young's toughest test last season. Chicago Bears, they go Caden Stearns out of Texas. They didn't address safety. I get him a safety. He's pretty good. He's got really good range despite not having great speed. I think it's more so he's savvy. He really knows where he needs to be. There's no wasted movement in his there's no wasted movement. He don't waste the movement. The Cleveland Browns. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns. They're going Quincy Roche out of Miami. The U, man, getting some players here. This guy was among the most effective pass rushers last season. A bit undersized at only 230. Needs to add weight. He might do that this season because he was looking pretty beefy before spring training got shut down. So again, very interested. I'd like to see if his production remains the same there in the ACC. And I mean, he's across one of the best pass rushers in college football, so that kind of helps. Tennessee, they go safety Javon Holland out of Oregon. Again, this guy might end up being a slot only in the NFL, but this guy was elite when asked to do so. He allowed no touchdowns, came up with 3 picks, went in the slot. There's a lot to like about Holland here. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, they go Trey Smith out of Tennessee. Health concerns will be a concern for Smith, but last year he really came into his own there at left guard, and he was among the best in the country. Los Angeles Rams go Abraham Lucas out of Washington State. Guy's got solid size, 6'7", 324, and thanks to his time during thanks to his time in Mike Leach's offense, it's got a lot of true pass sets, which, if you don't know, translates to success typically in the NFL. Minnesota Vikings, there you go, Carlos Basham Jr. out of Wake Forest. Guy's got one of the most dominant bull rushes in all of college football, but I want to see more in his arsenal, more in that toolbox. New England Patriots go Levi Onwuzurike out of Washington. Might be the best pure nose tackle in this draft, but he can line up in the A and the B gaps. He's got a great motor, phenomenal pass rusher. Just want to see a little more consistency to his game this year. Or not consistency, a little more effectiveness, I should say. And then the Los Angeles Chargers, Hunter Henry, is he coming back? I don't know. So they grab another tight end in this phenomenal class, Pat Freiermuth out of Penn State. Like I said, it's a very good tight end class. He's just another big athletic tight end with solid production. Very good class. Indianapolis Colts go Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan. Guy had glimpses of elite play last season, especially against Chase Young, obviously his biggest challenge. I like the athleticism. There could be more consistency to his game than this guy could throw his name, and it had to be a first-round tackle as well. It's going to be a very good class there. The Green Bay Packers go Brandon Echols out of Kentucky. The guy is a former junior college transfer. He's a former convert from wide receiver. Might end up being one of the best best press man corners in this draft. He's capable of really shadowing anybody. Philadelphia Eagles go Nick Bolton out of Missouri. This guy is my sleeper pick to sneak into the first round. He's one of my favorite linebackers in this draft. Moses, I think, just has name recognition right now as far as going above Bolton. But Bolton, he has the production. Granted, Moses hasn't really had his chance to produce because of the injury, but last year Bolton was phenomenal. He might be the most complete linebacker in this draft when it comes to guarding the run and the pass. So I'm just saying I like the guy a lot, okay? I like him a lot. Seattle Seahawks, they go receiver Khalil Shakir out of Boise State. Probably the best slot receiver in college football. Behind maybe Jamar Chase when he decides to line up in the slot. But guys, scary off the screens. He's a very good route runner. He'd be good for the Seahawks. They need some receiving depth, per se. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, they get their running back. I know they got Anthony McFarland, but he ain't freaking the Chupacabra himself, Chuba Hubbard, man, out of Oklahoma State. I'm not positive if this guy has any big play speed, but you really need it if you're impossible to bring down. The guy, he had 1,300 yards after contact, which was more than most running backs last season even had. The guy is just phenomenal. I like him. Dallas Cowboys go Trey Hill out of Georgia. Hill, he made the transition to center last season. He was very good and even better down the stretch, both as a run blocker and a pass protector. 49ers, they go Hamsaw Nazir Ildeen out of Florida State. This guy, he could have a Simmons-like rise to the top. I don't think he's as versatile. Okay, he is not as versatile as Isaiah Simmons, but the guy, he's got a sureness as a tackler and in coverage. This guy, he makes plays. It just makes him very interesting, and honestly, we could be talking about like if like Jeremy Chin, he could go in the second round. I think Nazir Ildeen definitely could sneak into the first. The Baltimore Ravens, they go Israel Makwamu out of South Carolina. I looked it up. It's what they told me it sounded like. Anyway, I like the guy's size, 6'4", 205, and he only had a few real shutdown performances, being his standout game against Georgia, and I want to see a little more consistency, especially against the hierarchy in the SEC there. Buffalo Bills, they go Sean Jolly out of Appalachian State. I like this guy a lot. He's a very accomplished zone corner. 2 of his 5 picks went for touchdowns. He also adds value into the return game. Guy might be a slot only corner though at 5'9". Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Kyle Trask out of Florida. Get your Brady heir apparent there. The guy has got all the tools the NFL wants. On top of just he's got a very good character. He's great. He's great. But I do want him to make wiser decisions with the football this season. And then the New Orleans Saints, they go Myjai Sanders out of Cincinnati. This guy, he's got good size, as like he has NFL size for a pass rusher. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5" at 260. And his win rate was 17% on pass rush snaps last season. If he could really get that up to 20, being that he's in the AAC, then again, a guy to maybe watch sneak into the first round there in a very weak edge class. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they go Jay Tufele out of USC. The guy's versatile, can play inside and outside in any scheme. It honestly can make him a hot commodity come draft time. But that's it for the video. Hopefully it wasn't too long, and it was very informative. But go ahead, let me know what you think, or if there's any names that I missed in the comment section below. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.